Last weekend, something strange happened. I was driving late at night, no music, just the hum of the engine and the stars lighting up the sky. Out of nowhere, this quiet question crept in and wouldn't let go. What's the point of all this? Not the kind of question you can shake off with a podcast or a cup of coffee. This one hit me right in the chest. I pulled over, killed the engine, and just sat there, still, silent, surrounded by the night. And it struck me. Maybe the reason we can't find the meaning of life is because we're looking in the wrong place. Sounds weird, right? But hang with me. There's a line in ancient Buddhist texts that says, "The meaning of life isn't something you find. It's something you stop trying to find." That flipped my whole world. It felt like someone had wiped a foggy window clean, and suddenly I could see clearly. All the chasing, the pressure, the questions, they weren't leading me anywhere. In fact, they were pulling me away from what was already right here. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in a loop, like you're searching for something, some big purpose, some reason, some answer, but the more you search, the more hollow it feels. You're not alone. And what I'm about to share with you might just change the way you see life forever. Every time you open Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, someone's telling you to find your purpose, live your truth, unlock your potential. I used to eat that up. I journaled my goals, mapped out my dream life, went on spiritual retreats, even left a high-paying job to try and find myself. But the more I searched, the more confused I felt. Like chasing a sunset, the closer I got, the further it seemed. That's when I came across a simple metaphor from Buddhist teachings that hit me harder than any self-help book ever did. Imagine watching your favorite movie, but instead of enjoying the story, you keep pausing to ask, what does this scene mean? What's the purpose of this moment? You miss the movie. That's what most of us are doing with life. We're pausing everything to analyze what it means instead of living it. Here's the wild thing. The Buddha predicted this modern anxiety thousands of years ago. He saw how humans suffer not just because of pain, but because of our obsession with trying to make life into something it isn't. We think if we can just answer the question, what's the meaning of life, everything will click into place. But Buddhism says the real issue isn't that life has no meaning. It's that the question itself is flawed. You can't grab the wind, you can't freeze a moment and demand it explain itself. Life is not a puzzle to be solved, it's a moment to be lived. Last month, I met someone who brought this lesson home in a big way. Julia, early 30s, Ivy League graduate, worked her way up to a dream job at a global nonprofit. On paper, perfect life. But she sat across from me at a cafe, eyes tired, fingers wrapped around a half-empty latte, and said, "I did everything right. I followed my passion, but I still feel empty." That emptiness, it wasn't about her work. It was the quiet ache of someone who had spent years trying to build a meaningful life, and still woke up wondering why it all felt so flat. That moment stuck with me, because I've been Julia. Maybe you have too. Here's where Buddhism turns everything upside down. It doesn't say give up or stop caring. It says you're looking at the wrong thing. The meaning of life isn't out there waiting to be discovered. It's not in the future, it's not in your goals, it's not even in your success. It's in how you show up for this moment. Let me say that again, because it's everything. Meaning isn't something you find, it's something you bring to what's already here. When I first heard that, I almost laughed. It sounded too simple, too soft. But over time, I realized something. The simplicity was the point. We live in a culture that fears emptiness. We fill every second with sound, with scrolling, with to-do lists and podcasts and noise. But Buddhism teaches something wild. That emptiness we run from, it's actually the doorway to freedom. When I stopped trying to stuff every moment with meaning, I started noticing what was already meaningful. The warmth of morning sunlight, the sound of a friend's laugh, the calm in my chest after a deep breath. All these things had been there the whole time. I just wasn't seeing them because I was too busy searching for something more. He's a filmmaker. For years, he pushed hard. Late nights, festivals, funding, all to make something that mattered. But he burned out, hit a wall, took 6 months off. During that break, he started walking every morning with no phone, no goal, just walking. One day he told me, "I think I've made more sense of my life on these walks than in 10 years of grinding." Why? Because he stopped trying to extract meaning from life and started experiencing it. So what do you do with this? If meaning isn't something you chase or achieve, what's left? Presence. Not just the Instagram kind, real, quiet, unfiltered presence. There's a line from Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Zen teacher, that changed everything for me. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. I used to roll my eyes at stuff like that, but then something happened. It was just an ordinary morning. I was making tea. The light was coming through the window just right. The steam was rising from the mug. I paused. No music, no phone, just the sound of the kettle and a tiny bird tapping on the glass outside. And for one split second, I felt it. Not excitement, not achievement, peace. And I realized this is it. This is what we're all running toward, and it's been here the whole time. That's what Buddhism calls suchness. Not a fancy word, just the raw, vivid isness of life. This moment, exactly as it is, without needing it to be different. We keep waiting for that one day. When I finally get the job, when I find the right person, when I figure out my purpose. But here's the twist. There's no arrival. Even the Buddha didn't promise eternal happiness. He promised freedom. Freedom from the endless tug-of-war between craving and fear. Freedom from the story that this moment isn't enough. A lot of people think Buddhism is about letting go of desire, sitting on mountains, or transcending everything. But at its heart, it's about something much simpler. Learning how to be at peace with what is. That doesn't mean you stop dreaming, or caring, or growing. It just means you stop needing those things to validate your existence. You stop asking life to explain itself, and start living as if life itself is the explanation. Sometimes I sit on a park bench and just watch people. Kids playing, dogs chasing pigeons, old folks arguing about politics, and I wonder how many of them are here, really here, not lost in some story about what should be happening, just alive to what is. And then I catch myself drifting, thinking about dinner or work or my to-do list, and I smile. That's the practice. Catch the drift, come back, repeat. That's it. Here's something simple. Tonight, when you brush your teeth, just brush your teeth. Don't check your phone. Don't think about your day. Don't try to fix anything. Just be there. In that small moment, notice the feeling of the water, the scent of the toothpaste, the sound of the brush. It'll feel weird at first. Your brain will rebel, but if you stick with it, something opens up. You realize how rarely you're actually in your life and how beautiful life can be when you are. The more I walk this path, the more I realize I don't need a grand narrative for my life to matter. I don't need the universe to give me a mission statement. Sometimes, watching the light change on the wall is enough. That kind of freedom, it's not loud. It won't get 1 million views, but it's real, and it lasts, because it's not based on some idea of who you should be. It's based on who you already are, right here in this breath. A monk once asked his teacher, "What is enlightenment?" The teacher smiled and said, "When I eat, I eat. When I sleep, I sleep. No secret, no magic, just the radical act of being fully alive in the moment you're in." That's the answer we're all searching for, and it's been here the whole time. So if you're feeling lost, if you're searching for something that always feels just out of reach, maybe don't look harder, maybe sit still and see what's already here, because this moment, right now, might not have a grand meaning, but it's yours, and that makes it enough. Let me leave you with this. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to go on a silent retreat in the mountains. You don't have to figure everything out. You just have to be here. Now, this moment, the one you're in, is not a stepping stone. It's the whole path. That cup of coffee you're holding, that conversation you're half listening to, that pause between breaths, that's your life. And it's not waiting for you to fix it. It's waiting for you to see it. You don't need a grand revelation. You need a quiet revolution. One where you stop running, stop performing, stop searching for meaning as if it's out there somewhere, and instead you look around, you soften, you say, maybe this is enough. Because it is, and the wildest thing. When you stop needing life to mean something, life starts to feel full of meaning, not because it changed, but because you showed up. So, if this resonated, don't rush off just yet. Take a breath, place your hand on your chest, feel that pulse. That's it. That's the miracle. Not your next big achievement, not your 10-year plan, just this fragile, fierce, beautiful now. And if you want more of this, more moments that remind you to stop, breathe, and come back to what really matters, you know what to do. Subscribe. Hit the bell so the next time you forget, we can remind you, and drop a comment. What's one small moment you want to actually be present for this week? You never know who you might inspire just by sharing it.